Hello everyone and welcome back to another beautiful day at what is now called, if I can get to it, what is now called the Sparrow Forest Zoo. I'm also going to really quick change one of my zookeeper's names. So this is now Head Keeper Diet Soda. So this is my good friend Diet Soda, who's now a moderator on my Discord server, who's probably going to be coming and playing games with us sometime soon. So the Discord server is available to Patreons for people who donate as little as $3. And as well as being on the Patreon, you can also come and work in any one of my zoos. So it can be here, it might be, I'll get there in the end. I think I'm probably going to fail it as well because I'm just not paying attention to the amusement need of anyone. You can also go and work in our Mega Aquarium park, any other parks that I start in the future, for example, when I finally start playing Jurassic World Evolution or Parkosaurus or something like that. So for what I'm going to do today, based on the results of the poll that I ran, we are going to be making our European otter enclosure. We can't actually get European otters quite yet. They are not available to us until we are 3 stars. But until then, we can still make the enclosure. So the enclosure will be ready for them when we are done. And I don't think that's quite worked out how I wanted it to. Because, I'm gonna have to save quite regularly because I've already had a problem just a little bit ago with my game crashing, which really sucks. Because you just look like I deliberately picked a small map to avoid the problems of crashing, and I was really hoping I would get away without it happening. But it looks like it's already having some issues with the mods, even though I don't have that very many mods. I think there's a problem with maybe the way I'm running Zoo Tycoon. But I'll play around with it because obviously we don't want to lose anything that we've done. We don't want the save file to become corrupt or anything. It would really, really suck. I think that's worked out. Okay, so the results of the poll to build the European otter enclosure. So this is what it's going to be like. We're going to have the area here where guests can come and look at the otters just out in their enclosure normally, as you would. I need to sort out this fox situation because every time they have a cub, every time they have cubs, they're going to run out of space. So we're definitely going to look into making this enclosure something else at some point because obviously it's not a suitable enclosure. And one of the things here at Sparrow Forest Zoo is that we want to have top-notch animal care. We want every animal to be happy in their enclosure and enjoy their enclosure. So the point of the European otter enclosure, I'm going to save very, very quickly. I can save this as Sparrow Forest Zoo now. Sparrow Forest Zoo 1. So we're going to have the viewing area here when they're just out in their enclosure, and we're going to have the show area here. But it's not just any show. It's not like the sort of show that SeaWorld used to have, for example. It's going to be a educational show all about how the otters are trained in zoos to better their animal husbandry. So the sort of behaviours that they would perform to help the zookeepers take better care of them, basically. I'm definitely failing that. Oh well, whatever happens, happens. Let's do it like this. I'm gonna need to save a little bit of space there because what we need is just a little tank here which serves as the connection between the main enclosure and the show area. So it doesn't have to be anything big, just a little tank that helps the otters can swim from that tank into the show tank. here we go, that's the right one. So, let me double check how big the... Okay. So, I have to make sure it's symmetrical or it'll drive me crazy. It'll drive me coco loco insane. So, we're just gonna make it a little skinny tank. Nothing major. Drag that out. Make that low enough that they can swim through. Oh, penguins keep getting pregnant as well, so we do need to actually start naming animals, but I have no names for them at the moment. So if you guys have any suggestions for names, feel free to let me know. You don't have to pay $3 a month to name the animals, because we're just gonna have so many, it's never gonna work. So we have at the moment to name, we have belugas, we have rockhopper penguins, we have Eurasian jays, and we have our 2 red foxes. I won't be naming the red fox cubs or anything, because we just get so many of them. And I think it's not going to work out if we try and do it that way. I believe that is perfectly even. Yep. And that is also perfectly even. Hopefully that's the sort of water height I was looking for. Maybe a little shallower actually. Because I want just like... I want guests to be able to like just see into the water, but not too much, because obviously the most important behaviours are going on above water. They are the things that we want people to be paying attention to. We don't want them to be watching the otters swim around underneath. We want them to be watching... I'm gonna save again real quick because I just get so paranoid otherwise. We'll save that in 2, so I'm gonna alternate between saves. I think I explained this before. But when you're playing Zoo Tycoon with mods, it's a really good idea to alternate between 2 save files. Just because, if the game crashes for no reason, which it might do, you want to be able to recover that. You want to be able to recover that save. You want to be able to get back to your zoo again, basically. But sometimes when you're saving, the game will crash, and if that happens, you've lost your save file. The save file becomes corrupted, and as far as I'm aware, there are some ways you can get it back, but generally you'd have to just give the file to someone who knows how to fix it. And I think it just saves you a lot of hassle if you just alternate between saves. Save regularly, keep saving, whenever, literally, I try to save, like, whenever I do anything. Like, whenever I build anything, significant while I'm building, just, to keep on top of that, and make sure that whenever I save, first of all, that I don't lose anything, important. So I'm not losing any new enclosures, I'm not losing too many new animals, I'm not losing things that I'm working on, like even like projects that I'm in the middle of, like this, where it's not done but I'm working on it. That's a plenty big tank. In fact, that might even be too big. That's huge. I think I'll stick with it just because sometimes having a tank that's too small can cause a lot of problems with collision and the animals getting in and out of the tank and stuff like that. Our penguins are in dirty water. I really can't wait to unlock the filter because we really need to get on top of, and this has happened, we really need to get on top of the situation with the tanks being dirty. We can't have all of these aquatic animals that we're gonna have and just no way of cleaning their water. Because at the moment the zookeepers have to constantly clean them out manually. It's just not time effective. You just can't have poor keeper Diet Soda running between the enclosures and swimming and swimming and swimming. Right. So this is coming along quite nice. We'll be able to fill out all these areas with trees and stuff, maybe some statues, I don't know. Obviously we still can't have anything actually in the enclosure. I don't know if I should just put something in it for the sake of having something in it for now. Just so there's something to look at. Because obviously I don't know what the enclosure for a European otter would actually include, but I can make a start on it. Because I have seen a few otter enclosures in my time. So it's not like I'm completely unaware of the kind of things that we need to put on it. Obviously we're going to need some water. I'm going to assume for now they like a temperate forest kind of enclosure. Just because that's like most of the habitat in Europe. So we're gonna make water nice and deep. We want that to be pretty much all of the viewing area to be water. Game's getting so dark. I hate when it gets this dark because you just can't see anything. I'm wondering if I should maybe get a shader that makes the game a bit brighter. Because all of my like terrain, like the game isn't as bright as it would be like if you were playing it vanilla, because the mods just make the terrain so much darker. And I'm wondering if any of those have like made the actual environment as a whole a lot darker, because this is really difficult to look at sometimes, but fortunately when it's like nighttime in this game it doesn't become like fully nighttime, it just sort of becomes sunset and then suddenly it's day again. So you kind of hang around in dusk and dawn and have no real nighttime. What's happened over here? Because I don't like it. I can, well, I guess I could deal with that. Okay. Okay, I didn't read that out loud and I just accepted it for no reason, but we've just been offered to keep hold of a dolphin for a little while. Delia, the performing dolphin. Obviously we're not going to make her perform. She's going to stay with our belugas just for the time being. Probably it might be till the end of the episode, it might be a little bit later, it might be next time. I'm going to make the tank coastal rather than tundra for a while. Shouldn't bother the belugas too much. In fact, they seem absolutely fine with it. They've just got a little bit of uncomfortableness with the biome there, but it's not too bad. And we're going to release Delia, the dolphin, and she's probably just going to help us get some donations. People will donate to having a bottlenose dolphin. She's angry for some reason. I think she still thinks she's beached on land, but she's fine. And it's cute, she's like the same size as a baby beluga. I didn't realize bottlenose dolphins were so much smaller than belugas. Oh, I'm swimming with her, I didn't mean to do that. So she is a performing dolphin, so she actually knows quite a few tricks. I've had her in a challenge zoo before. But she's just, she's here on loan. She's here just to be looked after by us in between shows, we'll say. We'll say she's traveling between zoos. She's performing in one place and she's going to perform in another place soon, but she's going to stay with us. Just an in-between, so she's not traveling too far. So that would be a bit mean to transport a bottlenose dolphin over such distances. But I mean, to be honest, transporting them at all. I had this conversation with my friend a little while ago. We were talking about how cetaceans shouldn't really be in captivity. Like, they're so intelligent. And bottlenose dolphins, and dolphins in particular, have such like incredible cognitive skills. And you just think like they're like more so than a lot of other animals. They're really aware of things that are happening to them. And I just think that's like really quite depressing. You think they're being kept in like tanks sometimes that are like no bigger than the kind of swimming pool you'd have in your garden. Like someone's backyard swimming pool. And it's just like no space for them. It's like for an animal. I did some research on this a little while ago for an assignment that I did. This is a rainforest, not a temperate forest. And basically, in the wild, dolphins spend like a crazy high amount of their time traveling. Like something like more than 3/4 of their time in what is called intense swim rather than low intensity swim. And what that means is basically they're just they're traveling, they're swimming really fast, they're covering long distances while they swim. And in captivity, they could spend as little as 1% of their time in that kind of swim, just primarily because they just don't have the kind of space in captivity to allow them to do that. So it's, I mean, one of the key things about captivity is that you should be designing enclosures for animals that allow them to carry out their normal behaviors, that have everything they need to do everything as they would do in the wild. And a dolphin just can't do that in captivity. They just don't have the space, and cetaceans in general. Like, I know we have our belugas here, but I mean, like I said, we're probably going to replace them with something else anyway. And just because I do it in Zoo Tycoon 2 doesn't necessarily mean I agree with it in real life. It's all part of the game. We want to make a good zoo, and we do want to, as much as we can, build enclosures that are suitable for those animals. This is pretty big, to be honest. This enclosure here is a lot bigger than what some belugas have in the wild. It's a bit overstocked right now with Delia the traveling dolphin and all of our belugas. But I'm thinking the parents, we might release the parent generation into the wild. At some point we'll do a little bit of a rewilding program with them. And jeez, my throat is just so clogged up. I've been so sick. We'll do a bit of a rewilding program with them, and then release them into the wild, and we will get from maybe another zoo, we will get probably a new male, and we will do a bit of breeding with their children, just to increase the genetic diversity in that enclosure. Because at the moment we just have the two parents, like the two founding members of that enclosure, and their children. They're all related in there now. And we don't want to keep just breeding from the parents, because that's not going to do anything for the genetic diversity of the population either. Because then we're just going to have all of these animals that are related to, like, all related to each other. And obviously, to have a genetically diverse population, you want to have animals that are from all different lineages. So we want to kind of branch off the lineages a little bit. Maybe we'll even get 2 new belugas and release, like, we'll look into it. We'll see how we can go into having a more effective breeding program with our belugas. Our restaurant's looking quite busy right now. I'm really quite happy with how this turned out. I don't usually build very nice restaurants. I just can't be bothered. It's so hard. It takes so much effort. But this is quite a nice, like, it's not super fancy. Like watching people phase through the wall. It's not super fancy, and there's enough place for people to sit down. I get to sit down. Someone's clapping for some reason. There's toilets in here. There's little outdoor seating areas, which is nice. There's plenty of bins. Put bins everywhere. So it's quite a nice little area. I like the paintings on the wall as well. The only thing I don't like is that sometimes I have to walk under here to clean up some trash. But yeah, I mean, that's probably the first time I've built something nice. And people did say, like one person did say that they wanted me to aesthetically improve this area, do a bit of decoration, make the garden look a bit nicer, which I will get to. But it's this was the most wanted thing that's for me to do today, so I did want to focus on that. And I don't want to put that there because it's going to get in the way real bad. It's going to phase through the wall. But I will get to the aesthetic improvement of this area really soon. I don't want to leave it too long, just because I know that placing some like fountains or something or some statues would improve the entertainment rating of the zoo. Which is going to help us out a bunch with keeping the guests happy, because at the moment I think we're struggling a bit there. They're not super happy at the moment. So let's get to making this look a little bit nice around here. Use some rocks and stuff just to make the landscape look a little bit more exciting here. I didn't realize this until quite recently, that all these rocks actually changed up. They're like trees, that they have different variants that are slightly different in size and shape, which is really quite exciting. Because that really helps when you're trying to decorate an enclosure, to have all different shapes and sizes of rocks. It makes everything just look a lot more interesting, interesting to look at. Let's see, I think I have a nicer like plant I could use. There we go, the juniper. It's a European plant, so it's still it's not out of place yet. Maybe I do need to look into the Mediterranean scrub habitat just for a few more interesting plants that I could put down in this area. Oh, placed a bit too many there. I haven't saved in a while, so I'll make sure to do that as well. This is coming along quite nice. I do need to make sure I put a door down somewhere so that the zookeepers can actually get in here to clean it and feed the otters and everything else. So what I'll probably do, let's put the door right here, and we will have our little, I can't remember what kind of path I was using, I think it was dirt? Yeah, a little dirt path leading off from here. And then we'll get a staff gate just to stop people from wandering in. There we go, so this is coming along quite nice. We're still half a star away from actually having the otters, so I will try and work on gaining that star. We'll do a little bit more decoration on here. Just to make it, you know, a little bit more. There's still a bit of work we could do just to, I'm trying to remember at the moment where that big old tree, plant is. Or I could just pick it up from one of the enclosures I know has it. There we go, the big old piece of driftwood. Because I just think that that looks really nice in enclosures like this, just a big old piece of wood for the animals to climb on and play with. I should have a look at some other otter enclosures to see what other zoos in different places put into their enclosures for their otters, like in terms of playthings, toys that they might give them. These are all just walls, just big rock walls, which is fine. Oops. Can use that just to break this up a little bit, so this is a bit more hidden. A little walkway. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up here. I might do a little teeny weeny itty bitty bit of decoration just in between episodes, just to save a bit of time. It's so difficult not to get distracted while doing this. But yeah, hopefully next time we'll actually be able to put some animals in this. We'll have a look at what's bringing us down in terms of zoo fame, and we'll try and improve on it. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time when we will hopefully populate our European otter enclosure. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!